these next three things are quite honestly the most important things you could potentially buy for your campervan. Whether you're just starting out on your campervan lifestyle or you're an expert, there's going to be things in this video, essential items, which you might not have thought about. Let's get inside this van and have a look at a few which are already inside this van. So here we are inside a campervan, and this campervan is ready for sale, and it already, like I said, has a few bits and pieces. So a carbon monoxide alarm, cannot stress enough how important that is. There's obviously gas in the vehicle. There's gas obviously for the hob and also for the heating in this particular one. So an alarm is absolutely essential. So we've already got one here, so do make sure that your campervan has, and if it hasn't, then definitely get it on the list to buy. Additionally, a smoke alarm, and the smoke alarm on this van is right at the top of the pop top, and that is there because that is placed exactly where it is meant to be placed. So as far as the alarm for smoke, obviously smoke rises, and that is where you put the alarm. Now additionally, I mean, those are two things. Well, let's face it, if you haven't got one in your van, then yeah, there are big problems, but I do unfortunately know that some are sold without them. The next thing, fire extinguisher. So fire extinguisher, as far as this is concerned, they do come in various different sizes. This one isn't actually in this van. I've just taken this one from inside the shop. But what you need to make sure that you do is you have a fire extinguisher and keep it near where the actual potentially ignition source could be. So in this particular situation, that's going to be near the hob, making sure that where your cooking area is, you're going to have a fire extinguisher. Now what a lot of people do is they'll have one in the kitchen, just on the side of the unit. They'll also have one in the front, just in case something develops in the front where obviously the driver and the passenger seat are. And also some people have one in the rear as well. So potentially if you're cooking outside, which we'll come on to in a moment, and something happens there, then you might be closer to the back of the van than you are to the actual kitchen. So definitely fire extinguisher is one. Still on the subject of fire, because fires in vans, they are rather common, even if they don't actually set fire to the van itself. Fires do break out in vans for one reason or other, whether that be dodgy electrics or somebody's doing some cooking and they've made a bit of a mistake. Fires do happen. So the next one is a fire blanket. Now, fire blanket, this is one of the smaller variants, so it's absolutely perfect for putting inside a camper van. You can just put it inside your kitchen unit. You've got a drawer here, which you could potentially be putting it in your drawer, and it's just going to be kept very, very close to where you are, or the better place, where you should really put it, is pinned to the side of the kitchen. So it is there exactly where you need it and when you need it. But it's not just fires that can potentially happen. And these, like I said, these aren't funky, these aren't fun items to be having in your van, but they are absolutely essentials, as is a first aid kit. Now, whether you've got a van or a car or whatever it is, first aid kit is quite useful to have. Although I do know that in previous videos a few years ago when I've done this, a few people have said, you know, what do you need the first aid kit for when you could be going to the hospital or a doctor and things? Well, if you've got children or anything like that, you might have a cut in your finger, you might need a plaster, you know, just simple things. Having a first aid kit with a few dressings and things like that, you know, stick it in your glove box. They do come in obviously a lot smaller sizes than this, but this is a nice compact one. You can put it in the drawer under the rib bed on this particular camper conversion, and you have first aid kit if you ever need it. So that's a few of the essentials which we've got inside the van. Let's get inside this shop now to see what they've got inside, because there's a lot more things which are in that shop which are not in this van as yet. But if you did buy a van or you've got a van, there are items which you might want. There's also a lot of other items which they don't sell in the shop, which you might well need for your van, and we'll discuss those too. But first of all, let's have a wander down there and just have a bit of an update on the actual channel, because you might have noticed I've got my Mojo back. I've got a spring in my step. Ever since coming back from the NEC was a brilliant show, really good, and I enjoyed spending a lot of time there. The people were fantastic. Yes, so the Mojo is back, and there's going to be a lot of changes to the channel. Things are going to be changing, things are going to be developing. I do have lots of great things coming on the channel very soon, so if you're not subscribed, then yeah, you might want to do so now, because there's things you're not going to want to miss. But let's get inside this shop and see what we have. So, inside the shop. And today I'm at Tamar Caravans and Motorhomes. Should have Campervans in the name, but they don't. But anyway, they have loads and loads of things for caravans, which we don't necessarily need for a campervan. But what we do need is levelling ramps. So if you pulled up on site and it's not quite level, then obviously these ramps can be absolutely perfect. And then that van which we've just been in, which is the bespoke leisure van, they've got the Savvy panel, and on the Savvy panel you've got the levelling system, so it will actually show you kind of what levels you are, so you can use these, make sure you get level. So moving on round. So round this corner we've got lots of other items. So as far as eating and drinking is concerned, first of all, you're going to be needing to boil some water. Now a kettle might not be the best way of doing it, but you are going to need some kind of way of actually boiling water. So an electric kettle, maybe not necessarily for a camper van, you're probably going to be looking more of a hob-based kettle, which once we get into the other room, we shall see some hob-based ones in there. You've got cutlery trays, non-slip mats and things like that, but then you've also got these dining sets, and the dining sets are actually out, so we'll talk about them in there. But you've got your camper van, you know, you've just spent whatever you've spent on it, but then you might not necessarily be thinking about things like that. So it's just kind of putting that thought in your mind to make sure that you do. As are glasses. Now, I'm surrounded by people who actually work here, so I've got to be a little bit quiet, but they're still going to hear me. The ones which I think I like are the Silwy ones. So Silwy ones are actually magnetic. So obviously you're in your camper van and it's moving around. You don't want the glasses and cups moving around. Even if you're on that pitch and it's slightly sloped, if you've got a magnetic cup, glass, drinks, bottle, whatever it is, then it doesn't slide away. So yeah, so the guys here I think really should start looking into getting an account for those, because that's definitely what I would recommend. But if you don't, you could just buy something like that and then get a non-slip mat. Maybe it does the same. Who knows? Another item. Now this has actually become highly recommended. So somebody I know has got one of these and they think they're absolutely fantastic, works a treat. They're 17 quid. And yeah, it's a mosquito killer, so you can pop that up and then any little flies, insects, mosquitoes, etc., you know, it's going to get them, and then you're not going to be having them in your van, which can be a problem if you go to certain areas. Moving along a little bit more. Now we've just been in that van, and that camper van, which does have a toilet tucked under that rib bed. Don't forget your chemicals. I know that people have done that, and then you've seen the post on Facebook saying, I've gone away in my camper van, where can I buy some chemicals for? Buy them before you go. So you've got your chemicals for the toilet, and then you've also got specific camper van toilet roll as well. So this is obviously composting toilet roll, easily dissolves once you're using the chemicals as well. So those are definitely highly recommended. And obviously now we're in the shop, the aforementioned fire blanket, first aid, extinguisher, they're all here as well. Water. Now depending on your camper van, you might need to be getting a grey wastewater, and this is perfect because you lie this under the van. As you can see, that's laid down flat. Unscrew that, and then your waste grey water can actually go in there. Something again which not everybody thinks about, and all this video is to make you aware that these are things that you do need to be thinking about, as are hoses as well. And I'll talk about another cable in a minute. Now, one of my favourite products ever, and something I use every single day, is a Nebo Lil Larry. But actually I use the Big Larry 2. Much bigger, use it pretty much every morning when I'm walking Lottie. Just perfect for lighting things up. So yeah, I think they're about 10 quid that. Or maybe not with a 20% off, but by this time this video comes out, I'm sure they'll have sold out anyway. But let's get into the other room where we've got awnings, tables, chairs, and those aforementioned dining sets. Let's see what we've got in here. God, I was lucky I made it through the door then. And I forgot something. I forgot outdoor cooking. How could I forget Kadac? Long-term viewers of the channel will know I absolutely love Kadacs. I've got a variety of Kadacs, various different ones, and they're absolutely brilliant because you've got your camper van. But when you've got your camper van, you're probably thinking about that outdoor lifestyle. not necessarily wanting to cook indoors. And yeah, my chosen choice of cooking, it was obviously a barbecue, but also Kadacs as well. So with the Kadac, you've got your pizza stones and you've got your various different roasting pans and things like that. But yeah, for outdoor cooking, not necessarily an outdoor item, an essential item, but definitely something worth considering. But as far as, this is a lovely bunch of grapes, isn't it? They might look real, oh, maybe they don't, but they're definitely not real. But yes, so plates, so proper plates. And these are melanin, so obviously at home you might have your ceramic plates or whatever, but when you're actually camping, because they're going to be moving around in your motorhome, your camper van, then something like this is definitely going to be the chosen choice. So those are some plates, and then obviously cutlery as well, because you're going to have cutlery at home, but obviously you're going to need some in your van as well. Because even if, I know some people in the past have gone, well, I'm going to take what I need whenever I use the camper van, but you know, when you go away sporadically, you might forget things, so it's always nice to kind of be keeping your cutlery in there. Yeti as well. I love my Yeti. So yeah, so this is my Staycation lifestyle Yeti cup. Absolutely wouldn't be without it. But when we've got your camper van, you're obviously limited to that area. So you've got that metal box, and that is kind of that habitation area. But what you could do to extend it is have an awning. Now these are bad examples of awnings, because these are pretty much for, you know, caravans, but it kind of gives you the idea. So this one here, which we've got, is the Buddy Sides, and I spoke about this when we were at the NEC last week, the Caravan Camping and Motorhome show. So this is obviously a bigger variant of it, but you actually can have one for a transporter size van, and it just adds sides and a front, so obviously you can enclose it a little bit more. But having an awning for your van just gives you that extension. So it's an extension, so you can be storing more things in there, you can pitch up, you can take things out of your van, so you've actually got more living area inside the van. But then you can also drive away as well. So if you want to be going down to the beach, you've unpacked a lot of your stuff, you can keep that in the awning, and then you can go down off to the beach. Now, tables and chairs. So that van which we've just been in, it did actually have a table in the side. It had the locate table, but if you haven't, then it's definitely something worthwhile considering. Now this table here is probably a little bit too big for a camper van. But there's obviously various different options, and like I said, this is just to make you think. Didn't think about a table, so yeah. So not necessarily this size for a camper van, but definitely something which you do need to consider, as are chairs. And this is, it's not exactly mine, but it is identical to the one which I have. So let's have a sit down and talk about a few more items. So something that can be overlooked when you're talking about your camper van is a bin. And actually this is a product which is collapsible. So this is a collapsible bin. Basically you just stick a bin bag in that, and it just adds to it makes it easy for you to put your rubbish in. Now they're ideal for your awning, so if you have got an awning, then you can pop one of them in there, and then you've obviously got your bin actually outside your van as well. Otherwise you might be just wanting to get one of those little things. But again, something worth considering, which some people often forget. And equally, a duvet, something for sleeping on. Now this is something which comes up all the time. Which is best? Is it naps? Is it, I can't remember the other name, is it duvet or whatever it is? Now I've always used duvet, which I've mentioned loads and loads of times before. Really comfortable. Obviously you've got your thick amount of foam, and then you've actually got your duvet on top, and it's just perfect. It's just a really good product, and look, it just folds away nice and easily. So that's something which you need to be thinking about. Otherwise, you could just be using a sleeping bag, or you could be using just some normal bedding from home. But if you've actually got camper van specific, then it's something that can be kept in there in the summer, not the winter, because obviously if you keep it in there in the winter, then there's that potential for the mold and things, which obviously you don't want to do. But yeah, duvet, highly, highly recommended. Like I said in the video which I've done recently, I do like the plum. Anyway, these next three things are quite honestly the most important things you could potentially buy for your camper van. And the first one is a dash cam. So a dash cam, don't worry, the other two get even better, but the dash cam, in the event of an incident happening in your van or your car, for instance, you can actually determine who's really been at fault for the accident. And I actually work in insurance, something which I'll come on to in a moment. And I see this all the time, and dash cam footage, dash cam evidence can just show who was actually at fault for that accident. You know, I had an incident in a car park where the actual person drove off, but it was all caught on dash cam, and it meant that I was able to actually, you know, prove who was at fault for it. I've also had somebody run in front of the car when I was driving a car, and they was insinuating that I'd actually hit them. Dashcam footage showed that I didn't, and then in my day job I see it all the time, loads of different incidents. This person's gone into the back of me, or somebody's stating that I've gone into the back of them, but actually here's the dashcam footage and it does show otherwise. So yeah, so that is definitely something. Lots of various different options available at different price points, doing various different functionality. Some can actually monitor whilst you parked and things like that, but just having one that's recording whilst you're driving could save you a lot of money. Now, the next one, and that is actually insurance itself. So insurance itself is one of these topics which everybody seems to know something about. Well, actually, I've been in the industry for nearly 30 years. I do commercial insurance, so I don't actually do, individual vehicle insurance. And I actually work for a company who doesn't do modified van insurance. But yes, so when you are looking for your insurance for a van, you need to be making sure that it is specifically for a camper van. It has to be modified van insurance, camper van specific insurance, because there's various different things that can go wrong with it. So a lot of insurance companies might well do modifications to your van. They will accept the risk as being a modified van. So you might be telling them, yes, I have alloy wheels. Yes, I have a body kit on it. Yes, I've got a pop-top roof. I've got a bed in the back. But actually accepting the risk as having these modifications and actually insuring you for the full reinstatement value of those modifications can be two completely different things. And I have come across this, and I actually have seen it in the commercial insurance space where people are adding these vehicles to fleets. Just because an insurer will accept the risk, it doesn't mean that they're covering that full reinstatement value. They might just, in the event of a loss, be covering you for that panel van. So if you've got a panel van which is worth 15 grand, but then you've got a camper conversion for 25 grand, then that's actually a lot of money which you've got in a value of a vehicle. But if you've just done it through an online insurer or a non-specialist insurer, you might have a nasty surprise when they turn around and say to you, we're only actually going to be paying out your 15 grand because that is all your van is worth. So yes, you do need to make sure that you go to a specialist insurer for modified van insurance. I'm actually insured with my van with a specific company. Better not really name them due to obviously working for a competitor, but I'm sure there'll be lots of comments stating who you should actually be going to for your modified van insurance. Now, the next one. Arguably, is it more important than the previous two? Is it more important than the other ones? Well, if you've got a large asset, if you've got a lot of money tied up into the value of your vehicle, then somebody might want to nick it. And if somebody nicks it, you want to make sure you can get it back. So that is where a tracker comes in. So there is a banner actually over there for Scorpion trackers. Now on my van, and this is something which I never did tell you because I actually sold my van very, very recently. And whilst I had it, it did have the Scorpion S5 tracker on it. Didn't want to tell anybody at the time because it was one of those things where actually if a criminal's watching this and they want to nick it, then they know what it's got. And then if they know how to get around it, not that they probably could, I don't know, I just never mentioned it. But yeah, so it was an S5 tracker, so it had the fob. So the fob is obviously, which tells the vehicle that this can actually be started now because it's got that fob in there. So that is what the S5 Plus tracker would actually look like. Fitted to your vehicle, you pay a installation fee, you pay obviously for the actual device itself, and then you pay an ongoing subscription. So the way it worked with mine, whenever I did any tinkering to the van and I disconnected the battery or something, I would actually get that call from the monitoring company just to say, it does appear that there is a bit of a problem with your van, is everything okay? And they just monitor the vehicle just to make sure that everything is okay with it. If it looks as though it's being stolen or something like that, then that phone call will obviously come in, and then if it needs be, then the police will be contacted to make sure that the vehicle can be recovered. Obviously, like I said, I've been using that product for a long time myself. A new product which Scorpion have actually got though, Not specifically, I don't think, for camper vans. Now, working in insurance, I do know the way it actually works. So a lot of insurers will want the S5 tracker or the S5 Plus, which enables that remote immobilization should that vehicle get stolen. But Scorpion have actually released a new product which is really, really good if you've got, well, basically anything. I mean, it says on the back of here, a car, a trailer, a generator. It can be used for caravans and things like that. And that is the device. And it's a quantum tracker, and it doesn't connect to the actual vehicle battery. The battery is in there, and it lasts for about 3 years. It's the cheapest tracker which they do. I think it's the 250 quid to actually buy the unit, and then you've obviously got the monitoring fees on top of that. But it's just perfect for tracking anything. I mean, I suppose you could even put it on a push bike or a motorbike or something like that. So yeah, so that is that's the Thatcham approved S7 tracker. So still will be approved to some insurance companies. So you've got a few different options there, just making sure that you protect your asset. So whether you're protecting your asset as in from it being stolen or from it being set on fire or anything like that, or you're protecting your whatever it may be, there's lots of things in there. So there are lots and lots of essential items there. Is there anything I've missed? Is there anything which you have in your van which I haven't mentioned today? Do let me know in the comments. And if you haven't seen any of the videos which I did about new camper vans, then you can have a look at those here. Thanks for watching, take care, and I hope to see you soon.